Are you struggling to conceive? You have options, and at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group, we'll make sure you have the guidance and support you need. PREG is known for individualized fertility care that's unique to every patient. We take the time to provide a reassuring and empowering experience because we believe that you deserve nothing less. Let us help you on your journey to parenthood. Visit us at pregonline.com to learn more. Get the guidance and support you need at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group.
Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.
Hi, this is Lori Johnson with Hancock Whitney Bank, and you're listening to Local Leaders, the podcast. Visit localleadersthepodcast.com for previous episodes or for information on appearing on the show.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Local Leaders, the podcast. And look, I do listen when some of y'all message me on Facebook and you make all these comments on Facebook, even though sometimes you may think I don't. And a lot of people have been saying, hey, who's that dude that owns Deep South Axe Throwing we've been hearing so much about? So I put out a little APB on Facebook about it, and some people that I knew were mutual friends of who Matthew Stirling, who's across from me, knew, and we have finally gotten together to tell everyone all about this fantastic new business that's going up right here in Denham Springs. So first, let me introduce you, Mr. Now, do you go by Matthew or Matt?
Matthew's fine.
Okay, Mr. Matthew, let me first welcome you to the podcast, Local Leaders.
Thank you. Great to be here, Jim.
So, you have you've been married 18 years. So you're an old pro at marriage. Yeah, I know the feeling. Yeah, 2 children.
Yes, sir.
Braden and Luke. Great names, by the way. Love those names. You attend First Baptist Church right here in the great country of Denham Springs, as some people would say. God's country. And you like to do all kinds of outdoor type things, fish and all that?
Yes, sir.
Hunting,
ride four-wheels, shoot guns.
Barbecue? What's your favorite kind of barbecue? All of it?
Everything from smash burgers to chicken strips. Homemade.
Yeah. Yeah? I'm coming to your house next time you barbecue. Then
we
I'll
make
just
plenty.
Follow this. There you go. And you're actually co-owner of Gate R Open.
Well, me and my wife have had it for 15 years.
Okay, very good. Yeah, very familiar with that. In my past life as a paint guy, I used to see it traveling around and everything. So that's one thing that was impressive about you right from the beginning is your branding on all. It seems like all the things you do is really good, especially with Deep South.
We're blessed and highly favored.
Yeah.
And I was taught that if you can't do it right, don't do it at all.
That's right. That's right. And you've made all the right moves, and now you're getting into a business that doesn't exist as of yet in Denham Springs, which is the axe throwing business. And we've got all kinds of puns we're going to say during this podcast. It's going to be an axe experience, to say the least.
It will be.
So let's get into all that. So you're trucking through life. You got Gator open, and you're working, you're doing your thing, you're raising kids, you're keeping your wife happy, driving her nuts, probably like I do mine every now and then, but that's typical. And all of a sudden you get to the point where you get an idea to open an axe throwing place. And I want to hear that story. And more importantly, I want everybody to hear how you kind of got that idea.
Well, Jim, 15 years in the gate business, and then it's just getting to the point that of my age, I want to look for my retirement business so I can keep 2 businesses going, 2 incomes. And we thought about this after we went to an axe throwing venue for a Christmas party. It was fun. It was entertaining. people were there, a lot of people, and it is a new thing across the nation, sweeping actually the world.
Yeah.
And so I just started looking into it, and when I want something, I just go do it. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, that sounds familiar, and so off you went. You did. I would imagine you started researching it. And before we go too much further, I do want to mention you're absolutely right. Axe throwing has really become kind of a phenomenon out there. I think the advent of social media, and now social media is where everybody's kind of intaking their information, and axe throwing something different. So people are going to take pictures. They're going to share that, which is great for you.
It's exactly what we did on the Christmas party.
That's it.
We advertised for that company.
That's right. So as any good entrepreneur does, you go and you start kind of looking around, and you're thinking, we don't have something like this where I live, and maybe that, I want to start that. And Livingston Parish does not have an axe throwing place. So a lot of people got excited when you were kind of. The funny thing about you that I noticed was you didn't want to give too much, too soon, but you put the hints out there that, hey, this is coming, and look for it. And I kind of liked that, because it's kind of like a big unveiling, is going to take place with Deep South axe throwing.
It is coming. The unveiling is coming very soon.
Very good. And we're glad to hear that. Now, you get that idea. You say, man, this axe throwing thing seems pretty popular. There's a lot of people here. You go home, and is there kind of a conversation that takes place somewhere where you're talking with your wife and you say, I want to look into this axe throwing thing and see what's up with that. Did you do some research on the internet? Was there any of that involved?
That night we were throwing, I looked around the room, and that's when I wanted to do it. And I looked at her. We weren't there but an hour and a half. And I said, this is what I'm going to do for retirement.
And what did she say?
And she said, I'm crazy. But one thing my wife Julie has done in 18 years, she backed me in every move that I've made.
There you go. And that's all it takes. She may think you're crazy, but she still said go for it, right?
And she's right there with me, beside me, doing it. And I couldn't do it without her.
That's right. That's right. Look, it's very important when you're in any business that you have that support system. Your wife or your kids, everybody's got to be on board for something like that, so that's a very good thing to know. So you're one of these people that you when you say you're going to do something, you do it, and you started in on your axe throwing deal, and you could have put that anywhere. So I guess your first decision would be, well, where do I want to go with it? Where do I think I would get? I would imagine you have to look at the business aspect of it, and where do I think I would get the most success putting my business? And eventually you chose Denham Springs. Mm-hmm. So kind of tell me what led to Denham Springs being your choice.
Well, we started out looking in Walker.
Yeah.
And the reason is some of my friends wanted something in Walker to do.
Sure.
Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.
Real estate hard to find.
Yeah.
It's expensive, but nothing really fit what we needed to have. So we moved it over here to Denham, started looking around, found a place here, affordable, big enough, met all the requirements.
Yeah.
So Denham doesn't have anything either. As far as for me, your wife, if you go out, you're going to go eat. You can bring your kids or grandkids to jump at the There's other things for kids to do.
Right.
But really, there's nothing for adults to do at date nights. In Denham, I don't think of nothing for me and my wife to go out to do, or us and our friends.
Yeah.
We always got to go out to Baton Rouge. We need to keep our local dollars right here and support our local people.
Right. So, boom, off you went, and you did manage to find what I consider a very good location, and that is right. The best way to describe it, y'all, it's old Denham Springs game room. It's right over, if you're going into Denham, it's right over the bridge. On the right-hand side, it's probably about a quarter mile down. On the left-hand side, if you're coming from Range Avenue, right before the bridge.
Right on the corner.
Yep. Can't miss
4-H
it.
Club Road, Florida Boulevard.
La Frontiere or something's in the same parking
Correct.
lot?
Yes.
Yeah.
The grocery store. And they used to call it the old DS game room.
Yep.
People that are listening to this that are my age or a little older, they know it.
Yep. So real easy to find, high traffic area. So you're kind of crossing all your I's and dotting your T's there. I want something that people drive past so they can see it.
Yes.
I want something that's reasonable on rent. Very important in business. Because you got to pay that whether you're busy or not, right? Otherwise, you have no business. So very
Correct.
important there. And it kind of fit all that criteria. The size of it, good size?
Yes, sir. We got 3,600 under roof. We're utilizing about 3,000 of it.
Yeah.
For actual entertaining, axe throwing and such.
Very good. Very good. And it's a decision that these business owners make to come here, which is why I asked Matthew that question. He could have went to Walker. He could have went to, and there's nothing wrong with Walker. I love Walker. I love Denham a little more, but that's but I do love Walker and look, grow and community. But he could have went there. Heck, he could have went to Baton Rouge. He could have went anywhere. He chose Denham Springs, and I love that. And we want to support people that support not just Denham Springs, but the whole parish of Livingston, because our tax dollars, that's where it goes. We want to keep it right here. So off you go, and you find a location, and then kind of the work starts. Because this was way back. This has been a little while in the process, right? This wasn't yesterday that you decided, this is where I want to be.
No. The idea was birthed about December 17th.
Wow.
And then we
a year ago, basically.
Really
less than a year ago.
Got a year's worth of work into it.
Yeah.
And needed to have 2.
I hear you.
It's a lot.
An axe throwing place, you're not like opening up a common business like a restaurant or something like that, where these people that inspect it and do all those sorts of things, look, they're almost going off of a checklist. In your case, it's a little different. And so, I would imagine that was probably the not so fun process, is kind of explaining to people how this works. And how has that been going?
It's been hard,
yeah.
Yet it's simplified now. I've been able to simplify it for everyone to understand.
Very good.
Throw an axe at a piece of wood. Try to hit the center. But there's many games to play. But
that's the bread and butter.
Yes, sir. It's a learning process, even for me. Still today, I'm still learning something new every day.
Oh, sure. Now, you mentioned that you discovered the business by actually trying it out, and you were there for an hour and a half, and you were throwing axes, and you said, wow, this would make for a great business. How were you at throwing an axe? Was it hard? Was it easy? I've never done it.
It's fun, but it can be difficult.
Yeah.
And it depends on axes, the wood, and how you throw, and whether or not you have somebody to teach you. Where we went, they never taught you.
Yeah.
Hey, here it is, then they throw like that. So myself and my brother-in-law and the other people that we was with, we figured out how to do it. We had to figure it ourselves.
Right.
Where to step forward, where to step backwards.
Yeah.
After we figured it out, we was having fun.
Yeah.
But we was still doing it wrong. As for now that I've learned, we were still doing it wrong. We were working ourselves too hard.
Yeah.
So now that I know how to throw it, and we've watched several YouTube videos, I got classes I'm fixing to be going to up with Waddle, the World Axe Throwing League, and they'll be teaching us to be referees, etc. So it's going to give me more knowledge, give me credentials. But
wow,
was I good? Yes, I was okay that night, but I've gotten better.
You've gotten better.
Yes.
Very good. And, axe throwing to me kind of reminds me of although, it's been around a while, but it reminds me of the advent or the discovery by the layman person of like cornhole. Cornhole initially was not that well known, and it was in a few places, and then every nook, cranny, bar, tailgate, you name it, had cornhole, right? And it's a fun game. It's fun to sit there and toss some bean bags.
It is.
And you got to have a little bit of skill and kind of know what you're doing to throw some cornhole, which incidentally we're going to talk about a little bit in a little while. But that's what axe throwing kind of reminded me of, because it's something that you're seeing more and more of in the country. in general, but it's kind of still at that infancy stage where it's not on every street corner. It's a neat thing that you bring into Livingston Parish that's unique.
It's unique. It's different, and not many people have done it.
It's very exciting.
It's going to be very exciting.
I told y'all those puns are going to be throughout this whole thing. BJ Pawn and Gun in Denham Springs wants to buy your unwanted gold jewelry, gold coins, and gold bullion. With 30 years of experience operating in the Livingston Parish area, BJ Pawn wants to be your source when selling your gold. So stop by BJ Pawn today for a no-obligation offer. BJ Pawn, a proud sponsor of Local Leaders, the podcast. Sondra Richard has been in the business of selling homes for over 20 years. This award-winning realtor brings the perfect blend of professionalism, integrity, and client satisfaction to every buying and selling transaction. A passion for both her clients and her community makes Sondra the perfect choice when buying or selling your home. So if you're in need, call the Cajun Lady, Sondra Richard, at 225-955-5484 or visit her on the web at sondrasellshouses.com. Sondra Richard, a proud sponsor of Local Leaders, the podcast. Let me ask you about this. So when we first met, we talked about your website, and this fired me up, y'all. Matthew was looking at me like I was crazy because I was so excited about this. But the great thing about how Deep South axe throwing is going to be set up is that you don't even have to talk to anybody. You can go on the website. You can book your, I guess you call them lanes, like in a bowling alley, lanes.
You're just going to book your visitation.
Book your visitation. Take us through that. How would that actually work?
You go to the website,
Yep.
and we have QR codes, but you just simply go to the website. You click book now.
And what's the website address?
DeepSouthAxeThrowing.com.
There you go. And we're going to link that, y'all, in the description so you can click right on it.
Right. But when you go to the book now section, there's a button that takes you to our booking software, and you pick your time, how many people, you fill it out. It asks you the questions, names, ages, of course, because there's an age. 10 and up is our age. And then you simply check out. You pay right there, you're booked.
You know what I love best about that? You're not going to show up and everybody, it be full, and you have to wait for an hour to do anything. When you book it and it gives you a time. So when you book it, it gives you a time. It keeps track of how many people are booking it. You know, this is heavy duty software. So
it is.
It's not like you're going to show up and you have a appointment at 10 or however you want to refer to it. And you're going to tell them, we're full. It'll probably be about an hour, but y'all can sit in these chairs and wait. You should be ready and good to go.
They're going to walk in. I'm going to say 3 to 5 minute difference simply because we're going to check you in, welcome you. Then we're going to bring you there. We're going to give you instructions.
Yeah.
And once that 3 to 5 minutes is over, you have your hour. And but everything will be booked. It's not open to the public, just a walk in.
Yeah.
You must book. Now, we're not going to deter you from opening the door and say, hey, are you busy right now? We're going to look at that manifest schedule. Jim, we're going to go, no, Jim, you know what? Yeah, we got time. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah.
And we'll check you in right there. You pay, you go throw.
Yeah. But highly recommended that you book online if at all possible.
You might be wasting time coming down. We might be full.
Right. Which is exactly why I like it. I want people to kind of understand, the process, because I don't want anybody out there to feel like they're too old or whatever, or the axes weigh 1,000 pounds and they're going to be really hard to throw. So I want you to describe axe throwing to someone who has never done it, is not familiar with it, and the only way they even know about it is they're watching this podcast.
Well, Jim, and I'm working on that because that is going to be the introductory when you walk into our place. So I'm still tweaking this. But in short, the axe weighs about 2 3/4 pounds.
Yeah.
it is sharp. It'll slice you wide open.
Oh, wow.
You're going to stand about 12 foot away.
Yeah.
Many people want to step, throw like a baseball.
Mm-hmm.
All that's unnecessary. Simply bring your arm back, aim with your elbow, throw, and release straight.
It's going to stick.
And you adjust accordingly.
Sure.
Whether you want to move or it's kind of like golf. You just got to adjust your swing. You adjust your throw.
Oh, that's a good point.
We have some lighter axes in case somebody wants to use those.
Right.
It's I think they're 1.5 pounds.
Yeah.
And they're not truly regulation style, but an axe is an axe. It'll still stick in our wood because we have the right wood.
Yeah.
But it's very simple. It's about 12 foot away. You just throw that axe. It makes one rotation, and the blade should hit straight into that wood.
Okay.
Sometimes it'll hit like this, and you simply adjust where you stand for the over rotation or under rotation.
Yeah.
And once you find that spot on that concrete, you're going to have fun all night.
You remember what they used to call Chinese stars back in the day? I used to throw
Throwing
a lot of
stars.
those at trees.
Yes, sir.
And so I'd imagine kind of similar, but way different projectile, but, similar in that it took a little bit of to make it stick, a little bit of technique, I guess you could say.
Well, you're using hard woods, pines, etc. This is actually cottonwood that I bought out of Elm City Woods up in Illinois.
Yeah.
It's one of the better woods for axe throwing. It's soft. And I could take an axe and raise it about 10 inches and drop it, and it sticks in that wood. So it doesn't take much to really hit and sink your axe in there.
That's cool.
We
it.
bought the right product so that everybody would have fun.
Yeah, and so there you go. If you're concerned about the weight of it, or am I going to be able to throw it? And some people, legitimately may think that these are like super heavy axes, like you cut a tree down with. The big heavy ones, they're not. I mean, 2 to 3 pounds is nothing. So we'll put their minds at ease.
That's right. My 10-year-old, he can throw it, and he's small for 10. And he can still sling that axe 12 foot.
Very good. Now, so no worries there. And now we want to talk about your events. Another thing when we were sitting down talking initially was you could tell Matthew put a lot of thought into this, because the second I brought up, what type of groups want to go to this, he starts spouting off all the, and I'm like, I didn't think about that. So one of the things that is big right now in the business industry is team building. Team building is very important, and we're a business podcast, and a lot of the successful business owners that come on this show speak about the importance of team building. Team building is kind of your forte. That's what you want people to do inside the axe throwing building. There is, that'd be a great place to do a team building exercise. It's fun. It's something that has a little bit of competition to it, which people will like.
Yes, sir.
That's great when you're team building, and it's different. It's not going bowling.
No one's done it.
No one's
for the most part.
Right. So team building was something he brought up. You also brought up, and this is an obvious one, but birthdays.
Yes, sir.
Great thing to do that's different again, and you always want to kind of, especially for birthdays, come up with something that's not the same thing every year. Hey, we're going to get a Topgolf. Or we're going to get, those are great, but guaranteed they probably ain't throwing no axes or as a general percentage of the population, probably not very many have done that for their birthday. So that's something to think of. Corporate events.
Yes, sir.
Is great, which would kind of go into that team building phase. But here's one that gets you laughing, ladies. How about ladies' night? Ladies' night at axe throwing.
That's right.
Tell us about that.
I am going to work on dedicating a certain time slot just for ladies on ladies' night.
Yep.
That's probably going to be the early part of the night. After that, it'll be like any other ladies' night. They're going to be in. There's a special for them, Jim. They come in. They can hang out. But we're going to have a special little time frame where it's just the ladies. There's no men in there.
Bachelor and bachelorette parties.
Yes, sir.
How about that? How about that for a difference? Look, you can hang, if you're a bachelorette, you can hang your soon-to-be husband's face maybe on the wood and throw something at it if you want to. That'd be cute.
Hopefully she's not doing that before they get married.
Yeah. I don't know. You never know with some of these people, but
Yes.
that'd be a great idea and something different that you could do. Another thing, and we kind of talked about it earlier, but didn't go into depth on it, and that is competitive axe throwing. So tell me what that is.
Jim, that's going to be where you have competitions, kind of like the bracket for sports.
Yeah.
Break it down. I'm more going to try to gear it around the old style bowling.
Right.
If we can get some leagues around here locally and or the surrounding areas, they want to come in league axe throwing. I don't have a lot of details on it right now.
And do they have these in other parts of the country, these leagues and things like that? Like typically, and me and a buddy were talking about this the other day, but California and places like that, they'll kind of trend into these things before, it makes it all the way down to South Louisiana. Right. So
they are around. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. So probably similar to like there's competitive cornhole on that.
There is. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So
I have a buddy that does it. He does it at his house. They meet at different people's houses. They meet at different club areas. Club venues.
So something definitely you're looking forward to getting involved with there.
Yes, sir. I want to make sure it's done right. So we're gonna slowly approach that.
Very good, but something to look forward to, and
absolutely
maybe in the future. So I did have some people reach out, and they, I put something up on Facebook a couple of weeks ago, said, "Hey, Matthew Stirling with Deep South Axe Throwing is coming on the show," and all of that. And I had some people message me, and they're asking me questions, and I'm like, "Well, I hadn't had him on yet." So I'm going to read you some of these that I got to ask. Some of them, a couple of them you might have answered earlier, but minimum age requirement.
Yes, sir. We're going to do with a 10 and up to throw the axes. We're going to monitor that. Some 10-year-olds might not be able to handle the axe because we're going to be safe.
Right.
Nobody's going to get hurt. So if your child, we're hoping the parent can use their discretion and go, no, my 12-year-old, he ain't going to throw no axe.
Yeah.
Even though my rule says 10 and up. So right now we're focused on 10 and up.
Okay. And what about if they're non-supervised? What age would you want a child, young adult or whatever? Is there an age limit there? In other words,
we're looking at 16.
16. Okay.
And there's a few other things that I'll be looking into to be sure that that's a good age.
Very good. But as of now, you're kind of looking around that age bracket.
Yes, sir. They can drive, and some kids are responsible, some are not. Again,
that's right.
We're going to reserve
safety first.
It's safety first, Jim.
Yeah.
So we're going to ask that everybody respects our place and respects other people in there.
And is there a release form or anything like that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Now, how many lanes? Somebody asked me how many lanes you were going to have there.
I have 11.
11 lanes. That's a lot of lanes.
Yes, sir. I got 5 double lanes. Me and you'll stand side by side. I did not individually cut them off. You don't need to.
No. And I want to throw next. I don't want like something separating me and my wife from throwing.
Right. You and the wife could be throwing if you wanted to use 2 lanes. And you might be the only one in there.
That's right.
So you can both throw together and you go get them together and you come back together and throw again.
And that was going to be a question for you was once you throw it, you actually go get it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
You don't magically flow back.
But, well, some people might think somebody's going to actually bring it back or you have like, how many do you have? Like you throw it, but how many axes do you have before you have to stop and go get the axes? Is it just one at a time?
You could throw up to 2.
Yeah.
But if you throw more and then you take one axe and you hit the other one, you're damaging the axe, and then we're going to be resharpening.
That's a good point.
And then it's going to fall and it could bounce and such.
That's a good point. But 11 lanes for that person that asked that question. So
yes,
plenty of room. I don't know if you have this figure, but I'm going to ask it. If you don't have it, we can cut it out. But how many people can you have actually at the same time in that building? So if someone had 50 friends and they all wanted to do this, can you do that?
I can.
Okay.
We're looking at 6 people per lane, so a total of 66 people can be in there throwing
Yeah. So even larger corporate events.
Yes.
Food or drink.
Right
Somebody
now,
asked.
we're working right now with the parish to get our and I might say this wrong, but it's called pre-packaged sale. Okay. That's in order for me to sell you a cold drink, bag of chips, pork skins, whatever.
Yeah.
We're going to do simple snacks right now. Yeah. We will be coming up this year. So I should say next year, but we're going to be working on our food safety handling so we can do prepared food, so we can do concession type food, nachos and such of that. But as far as big food items, we're going to be relying on our food trucks for that.
Gotcha. Very good. And we're going to talk about those in just a little while. And that leads me kind of into my next section here, which is other options. So,
are you struggling to lose weight and keep it off? Tired of wasting time and money on starvation diets that lead to more frustration and stress? If there was a weight loss solution that could actually work for you, would you try it? Then head to Golo.com.
I'm Steve. I lost 138 pounds in 9 months on Golo.
I'm Amber. I've lost 128 pounds with Golo Taking Release.
If you're ready to take back control of your life, head to Golo.com now and see how Golo can work for you. That's GOLO.com.
My sleep is way better. My inflammation has gone way down. Golo saved my life. I was way overweight. That's what sent me down the path. I wanted to make sure and live for my kid.
I have literally tried everything. I was on the verge of getting gastric bypass surgery, and I saw the Golo commercial, and it was the last thing I tried because it worked.
Join over 2 million people who have found a better way to lose weight with Golo. Your healthier and happier life begins at Golo.com. That's GOLO.com. Again, GOLO.com.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Axe throwing is the bread and butter, and that's what your attraction is, and that's what people come in there for. But some people might want to do more than axe throw. They might be these cornhole lovers or these dart lovers.
Yes, sir.
And so what other options do you have besides just throwing axes?
Well,
or in addition to, I should say.
In
probably better to phrase that in addition to throwing axes.
Yeah, because we are an axe throwing house.
Yes.
We're an axe house, and that's what our focus is. And again, to check in, you got to book your appointment to come throw an axe. Mm-hmm. So when you're done, Jim, you and your wife might want to go play some darts. You can hang out. That's no problem. We don't mind if you stay longer than your hour doing other items.
My nickname used to be Dart King. Not
Dart
really.
I figured it's Bullseye.
Ooh, I'd like that one. Bullseye Jim.
Bullseye Jim. But yeah, you can stay and play some darts. Or we have one cornhole set up because of the facility and the size, but we have one. Again, we're focusing on axe throwing.
Sure.
We bought a shuffleboard, so you can go do that. We also have a kids area.
Very good point to bring up.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about that.
We have it's a 15 by 16 area. The kids have tables. We have Miss Pac-Man, some video games, Galaga. They have Connect 4, Jenga. We're going to have a little book area where if they just want to read, they can also hang out there, if you want to call it. We're going to call it like the hangout. And they can just sit there. If they don't want to sit over there with mom and dad, they can go sit out there.
That's right. Very good. Very good. So keep everybody occupied and having fun.
We're focused on family.
Yeah.
That's another thing is we want the family to come in on family nights, which will be Tuesday.
Yeah.
And they can bring their young kids.
Yeah.
They're 6, 7, 3 year, whatever it is, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So Tuesdays are going to be family nights, and so come on in for that and check it out when it's open. We're going to talk a little bit later about some slated times that you have, or some I don't know if you have a good grasp yet on maybe exact day, but you might have a roundabout of a week or so. So we're going to get into all that.
Yes,
sir. In your questionnaire, I asked you about some folks that had a positive influence on you. And you mentioned two in particular, and I want to bring those up. I enjoyed kind of reading about them. The first one you brought up was Mr. John Hamlin.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about John Hamlin.
John is a father to one of my buddies I met about 30 years ago when I moved here. And I met him, and this has been right about 17 years ago.
Yeah.
And we were just sitting outside one evening, eating, talking, and we was talking about investment.
Yep.
And the man gave me a little bit of money, I mean a small amount.
Yeah.
And he said, you go do something with this, boy, and you bring me back my 20 plus 10. He goes, because you're a high risk. It was $20. Okay.
$20.
So I took that 20 and we turned that into well over $4,000 just in a short 6 weeks.
Wow.
And in short, I sold candy bars and cold drinks on the job site.
Yeah.
And so that got me into, you spend a little money and you make some.
Yeah.
And he gave me a lot of more knowledge.
Yeah.
From just talking with him over the years.
All over a $20 bill?
All over a $20 bill.
Wow.
Yes,
man,
sir.
that's amazing. I love that story because sometimes it doesn't take a ton to have a major influence on you throughout your whole life. Just those little things that you learn. And
yes, sir.
How about Mr. Mike Gullidge?
Gullidge. Yes. That man missed his call, and he should have been an engineer. I met him 15 years ago when I started my gate business. And when I walked in there, he gave me all the supplies I needed on credit and didn't know me.
Wow.
And which was roughly about $1,700. And then he started giving me service calls, which means people were calling him because he had the business.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Mike, my gate's broke. Well, I'm just a distributor. I don't fix them, but I got somebody. So he taught me how to work on the gates, how to treat customers, how to answer the phone. He always got on me if I didn't answer that phone. But he really poured in a lot into teaching me how to run my gate business. And on top of that, he's family.
Yeah.
And he was on the phone with me one evening when my daddy was actually being sick in the nursing home dying. He walked me through a job to get me out of there so I could get to my dad.
Wow.
But his wife, his daughters, they're my sisters, and they know it.
Well, shout out Mr. Mike.
Yes, sir.
Very good. And yeah, that's a great story. Another thing that I pay attention to when I send out those questionnaires is leadership. And obviously at Local Leaders, we're all about leadership, and entrepreneurs, in my opinion, make for the best leaders because there's such a struggle with entrepreneurship. You've been one forever, even way before Deep South axe throwing, right? And,
yes.
and it's not all it's cracked up to be. I remember hearing a lot of people say, when you work for yourself, you can take off whenever you want. You can do this, you can do that. And I'm like, no, it's not how that works. Trust
sometimes,
me.
But no.
Yeah, you could technically, but you might starve.
It's still there. The work is still there when you come home.
The work is still there when you come home. So I wanted to read you. I actually ask everybody that comes on the show what their definition of kind of a leader is. And I've gotten so many really good ones, and I thought yours was really good. I wanted to repeat it. I said, how would you define a leader? And you said someone who creates, inspires, and motivates others to grow and win at what they do. And I thought you couldn't say it really any better than that. Inspiring is a big quality.
It is.
Positive inspiration.
It's hard, too, because you're on a timeline. So while you try to train somebody, it's tough.
It is.
And so being a leader, and there's, I ain't going to mention the man's name, but he's a very prominent businessman in Baton Rouge, and I've watched his PowerPoints, and he teaches you how to treat your employees.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to incorporate some of his stuff in what I'm fixing to do, because for the 15 years, I've had some part-time employees. I had one good employee for 4 years with the gate business, and he chose to do some other things. But in the end, this is going to be different for me, Jim, is having anywhere from 10 to 20 employees.
Yeah. Because
we got to make sure that we can cover the shifts and the age limits. And, these kids are going to be there. They got sports, they got school, they got family. But we're hoping we can take that group of kids and teach them something valuable to bring into their life to work, a work value, a work ethic.
Absolutely. A little responsibility.
And they can still go have fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish it would have been around when I was that age. I'd have loved to work at an axe throwing place. There's no doubt about that. But one thing I will say is, and that's something that I struggled with in management for a long time, was delegation. Delegating was always hard for me because I felt like if I did it, I knew it was done right, or at least if it was screwed up, it was my fault it was screwed up, right? Mm-hmm. When you have to delegate that responsibility to someone else, that has always been a fight for me. And I know that good leaders delegate, and I get that. Your best leaders delegate. Always been a struggle for me. Still to this day, it's hard.
It's hard right now, and I'm learning that more and more. I mean, my wife's been with me 7 years answering the phone and doing the office, but I still was doing that business 8 years before that by myself.
Yeah.
And so now I'm delegating to her and her sister. They're coming in with us, to help us out. But you handle it.
Yeah.
This is what I'm looking for, and I'm learning, Jimmy. I was like, this is
it's
what I want,
it's a
baby.
struggle, man. I'm with it.
This is what I need, sister-in-law. You handle
yes.
that. Check with me, okay, if you want, but I think we're going to do well.
Yeah.
It's turned out well what little bit we've been delegating right now.
Yeah,
so,
no doubt about it. And one thing I've learned one thing I've learned is there's only so much you can do yourself. There's just not enough of Jim or of Matt to go around.
No.
Period. So either we learn that skill or we don't grow anymore. And easier said than done for this old bald-headed guy right here. I can tell you, you get burnt out. That's a great way to put it. Yeah. You will literally work yourself to death.
Well, I'm working with another businessman that's local.
Yeah.
And how he's doing it with his employees.
Yeah.
And he's been around many years, but I'm pulling from these veterans, if you will.
Yeah.
It's
great sign of a leader. You learn from people that have been there.
There's no sense in remaking that wheel. It's already there.
So, that's right. I agree 100%. Very true. Stephanie Berthelot and the crew at SR Enterprise can handle it all, from sheetrock to texture to paint. Give Stephanie a call at 504-432-9284. SR Enterprise, where they spread the paint and you spread the word. William Waldrep of TWFG Insurance in Denham Springs can service all of your insurance needs. Offering auto, life, health, and commercial insurance, William Waldrep of TWFG Insurance is a proud supporter of Local Leaders, the podcast. Now, social media, I mentioned, that's how we kind of got connected.
Yes.
It is a huge tool nowadays for not only people to kind of see up and coming businesses, but also for businesses to get their message out. I know in Local Leaders, it is probably 90% of our promotion is done through social media. I'm sure no different with what you've been doing. One thing I've been kind of paying attention to is you attempting to do a very good job at being active on social media and kind of, when I posted that little post about your business, you were good about commenting on that and saying, hey, it's coming, and those sorts of things, and appreciate the comment and all of those things. How big a role is that going to play in what you do?
That's going to be a delegation role.
Yeah.
I'm not good.
Look,
okay? I'm not good on the social media, the phone in general, because on the end of my day, after I've talked to customers and I've talked to distributors,
yes,
I come home, that phone's there. My family's right there. So,
but you just said something. I want to bring this up before we get off this point because it's funny. There's a connection there. You just said something that someone that came on my show, who is also the owner of that strip center, Tony Gyro, said this on my podcast. Is one of the most genius business tips I've ever heard. And he said, he actually said this. The best thing I can tell anyone about business is figure out what you're not good at and then hire someone to do it for you. Right?
It's the truth.
It is the total truth. And it seems so obvious, but us as business people, we have this mentality that I can do it. I can do it. I can do it.
My way.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
That's it.
I'm not a plumber.
That's right.
You hired a plumber. I don't do plumbing.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
That's it.
Right.
That's
so
it.
yeah, we're gonna stay on that. I have a girl from church. She's I think she's 16. She's doing it, and I also have an advertising group that's helping me with that.
Very good.
So
it's going to be huge for you.
So.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be huge for you. And you're on this show, and that's a great start with it because we sure pump it out there across all social media and all of those sorts of things. So another thing that people have been asking me is about the hours.
Yes, sir.
And I know that's fluid. Look, folks, anytime you open a new business, especially a business where you rely on the public, booking or coming in the door, you don't really know what the hot hours are to a full extent until you get in there and actually start operating. But
that's right.
What are your hours going to kind of start with?
Right now, we're going to start Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 2 to 10. Mm-hmm. And that's in the afternoon. It's not 2 in the morning, 10 in the morning, but 2 to 10 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Thursday.
Don't show up at 2 in the morning.
Thursday.
Please.
So Friday and Saturday, we're going to start off from 12 to 10.
Okay.
We was looking at 12 to midnight. I just don't foresee people in Denham being out that late.
Yeah.
Denham is still a small community that goes to bed.
That's right.
And to be honest with you, I don't want to be out till midnight. Now, if there's a demand and we stay open a little later, again,
can always adjust.
We'll adjust hours. We may be adjusting later openings during the week. If nobody's there from 2 to 5, we're not going to just be open.
Yeah.
We want to keep our costs down so we can better serve everyone.
Yeah.
We don't want to have high prices and because we're sitting there doing nothing.
Yeah. Very good. So look for that. Go ahead.
And I'm sorry, on Sunday, Sunday is the Lord's Day of rest. But I also know that some people don't observe it. So they might come in, they might get observed by it. But we're going to open up from 2 to 7 starting off.
Yeah.
And that's if we can if we have the business. If nobody's coming in on Sundays, then we'll cancel. But somebody might want to go get a bucket of chicken, come in there, Jim, throw some stuff, maybe a little family get together instead of going to grandma's.
They might work Monday through Saturday, and that's the only day they can go.
That's right.
And go after church and maybe want to throw an axe,
We're
get that 9 o'clock mass or whatever, and then go in there and throw you an axe.
Yeah, we're going to see how that really goes.
Very good. Yes. Now, another thing I noticed is you're an old school networker, right? Networking is something that I discovered a little later in life that I wish I would have discovered a lot earlier. Invaluable. It's valuable to network. Everybody should know what you do, why you do it, all those sorts of things. I also wanted to ask you about your promotions. And so I don't know if you can spit these off and you want me to just read off some of them.
You better read off.
I don't blame you because there ain't no way I'd remember all that. But of course, you're having a grand opening. So let's talk about that. Do you have an idea of when you're going to open?
I'm at the mercy of the Louisiana State Fire Marshal.
Always. We did. Never good to be at the mercy of the fire marshal. Just kidding.
Well, we did city inspection day went fine.
Yeah, very good.
And so what we're waiting on is we scheduled for fire marshal. They've been great helping me through this. This is a new venture for me, building a commercial building.
Oh, sure.
And they've been great. But with that being said, we're waiting on them, and we hope we've done everything that they'll pass us.
There you go. So,
I've asked them to come in on the 9th is my scheduled date. And they may come in a day before, they may come in the day after.
Okay. If he's open by then, we'll put that. we'll mention it when we post it. If he's not open by then, I'll get with Matthew and see if he has a solid date at that point. But you're going to have a grand open, obviously. You talked about your kids' family night and your ladies' nights that are interesting. How about it says we'll be offering soon family discounts. You're going to offer some stuff for families that Maybe
Yes,
take
sir.
a look. Me and you are human beings just like everybody else, and there's burdens out there. And so if you have a big family, they're going to take care of you over there. They can give you a little bit of a discount.
Yes. Even a family of 4, for me to go out with my wife and 2 kids, that can be costly.
Oh, yeah.
We're actually discussing last night, me and the wife. I got home really late, about 9:30. We was working to make sure if we passed city inspection. But we got home, we talked about kids and what age, and are they really wanting to throw an extra? What if they just go throw it for 5 minutes and then go play?
Yeah.
What are we going to do? So we're working on things because we know that we want every family to come out and have fun.
Yeah.
Yes, we still need to pay our bills.
Absolutely.
And we want to accommodate. We are, again, family oriented, and that's what we want to bring here to Denham Springs.
That's right. Very good. And here's something I really liked. So veterans, if you're a veteran military of any type, they're going to have coffee and donut mornings possibly
Yes,
a couple times a month or so, and it'll just be veterans only.
That's it.
For 2 hours, and they're going to offer a discounted rate to
Yes, sir.
all our veterans out there. That's a huge thing, and I'm going to definitely put you in touch with if you haven't already. But the Veterans Hall here in Denham Springs, the VFW, I actually know the guy that is I guess the president of that, and I'm gonna put you in touch with him, and you can get him some information so you can promote this to his people in that hall, because I think that's always a great thing.
We're gonna see what they want to do. If the guys want to meet twice a month, we'll do it. But yeah, we're gonna do it in the morning before we ever open. It'll be a veteran only. We'll open for them. They can come in, tell stories, talk, just visit, and
love it.
Just get together. They need something to do. We got to take care of our vets and let them have a good time.
And hey, if you're a first responder, a police officer, something like that, of course they're going to give you a discount as well.
Absolutely, yes, sir.
So look for all that stuff coming as well. Church youth groups are going to have discounts for. Look, we want our youths to have good family fun options out there, and this is one of them, right?
It is. I've been talking with our youth leader at our church at First Denham, and we go out at other places. We rent the whole venue. My kid's in the youth, and so when we go, we rent the whole venue, and they keep for 2-3 hours, and they have fun.
Oh,
they
yeah.
also,
I can remember doing a lot of that.
They get a little message too, so but they get to have fun and play, and it brings in new kids.
That's right.
That don't normally come to youth night. So we're really excited to have that.
Look, some of my fondest memories were being involved in youth groups as much as I was when I was younger, and I can remember going on these little outings to even if it was bowling or something. But if they'd have had axe throwing back then, I really would have had a good memory. So look for that as well. And if you're a youth pastor or something like that, get in touch with Matthew. You can message me. I'll give you the information you need to email him, or you can go to the website and he'll get you any information you need on that, I'm sure.
Yes, I'm actually going to be coming out to visit. So
yeah,
I'm looking for you youth people. We need to.
Very good. Very good.
Want to let them know we're here.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Fun facts, my favorite part of local leaders. I love doing this.
I forgot
we do fun facts because we want people to kind of learn who someone is outside of their business, and just something fun that we do every episode. And we ask the same questions, and we always get interesting answers. So if you purchase a yacht, what would you name it? And you said Juju Baby. My late father-in-law called my wife that. So that would be what you're putting on that yacht. And then what was your dream job when you were 12? Love this one. You wanted to be a Navy fighter pilot.
That I did.
Top Gun style.
Yeah.
Very good.
Then I realized I can't fly and do circles. I get dizzy.
A lot of G's pulling when you go up that fast. If you have any, you ever seen speaking of which, you ever seen the U.S. Navy Blue Angels? You ever watch them in Pensacola?
I don't believe I have.
Oh,
no,
man.
sir.
They're amazing. They fly about this far from each other, and they'll do all kinds of flips. And I mean, they're an inch. They're best fighter pilots in the world.
I need to roll over to Pensacola.
Oh, you love it. If you could have any superpower, what would it be? You said to read and know people's thoughts. I am the same way on that. Someone asked me, they're like, why? I said, because I'm nosy. I just like to know what people are thinking. I said, I host a podcast for a living. I ask questions for a living. It's obvious.
Got to know it.
That's it.
Knowledge.
If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go? You said Europe.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to go to Europe too. Haven't been there. So that's and that's one I've gotten several times. That one and Ireland are the two I get the most. Ireland, a beautiful place, I'm sure. Seen pictures, never been. Mm-hmm. So if you can believe it, we've been going 52 minutes, my friend, and these people right now hopefully are salivating over your wonderful new business in Denham Springs, Deep South Axe Throwing. How can they get, we talked about the website, but you do have a Facebook.
I do.
So just search Deep South Axe Throwing, but I'm going to link his Facebook and his website and all of that to the description of the video and also the description of the audio. So you can just click on that and go wherever you want to go. And you can book stuff. You can, message him for more information if we didn't cover something. And Matthew is going to get with me as soon as he knows an opening date. So if it's after this airs, just keep watching my Facebook and things like that. We're going to put it out there the date of that thing. So
yeah, we're just
looking forward.
All
to
boiled down to whether we got to do more work with the fire marshal.
That's it. Fire marshal, get on it. Get them open. Everybody's ready. We want to throw axes. He ain't going to start their fires. Don't worry. Yeah, safely. Definitely safely. Well, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for
have a
having
good
me,
time. This was Matt's first podcast.
Very first. Yes, sir.
Very first. And I think he did a wonderful job. If I need a co-host, I know who to call.
Hey,
Matthew Stirling. That's it. We'll sit some people down and talk business. But I appreciate you coming on. It was fun. And I want to thank all you listeners and viewers out there for watching, subscribing, sharing, and all of that good stuff. I can't tell you how much we appreciate it. Our sponsors for doing everything you do to help ease the burden, of operating our business. We love you. We appreciate it. And until next time, I'm Jim Chapman, reminding you, love your community, support local business just like Deep South Axe Throwing, and keep leading. Thank you very much.
Oh Lord, burden. Oh Lord, God, hell no.
This is the story of America's bloodiest prison, told by the people who lived it, both inside and outside its gates. The brutal history as you've never heard it before, from its origin as a slave plantation to its gradual growth as the bloodiest maximum security prison in America. To those outside its gates, is known as Louisiana State Penitentiary at Angola, but to those who have spent time inside its gates, it's known as Bloody Angola.
Raise 'em up higher, let 'em drop on down. Oh, raise 'em up higher, let 'em drop on down. Well, now,
Come with us as we take you through the gates and give you a first-hand look at not only the stories of the stabbings, rapes, executions, escapes, and murders you won't find on any TV show or the internet, but also the murders, abductions, attacks, and hostage situations of the staff and their families, otherwise known by the convicts as free people.
Bloody Angola is a comprehensive, no-holds-barred podcast that takes you on a journey through time from its inception as a slave plantation to America's largest maximum security prison, where 80% of its population will die inside the wire.
Get mentally prepared. Sit back and listen as we cover these stories in detail.
In ways that you've never heard before from people they've lived it, breathed it, and died with it. Bloody Angola.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.